Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new news video. Today, yes, we are back talking about Spider-Man Miles Morales. We now know exactly what this game is and the possible villain Miles may be facing. All that and more in today's video. So we now know from Sony and Insomniac themselves that Spider-Man Miles Morales is not a sequel or an expansion like a DLC. Instead, it is its own standalone game, similar to the likes of Uncharted Lost Legacy, expanding on the world's universe but not creating a full game, just a short one. Insomniac have come out on Twitter and said that Spider-Man Miles Morales is a standalone game for the PS5. Insomniac tweeted, "Spider-Man Miles Morales is the next adventure in the Marvel Spider-Man universe. We will reveal more about the standalone game at a future date." So, according to Insomniac themselves, they are saying that this game is, yes, a standalone game for the PS5, which means it's been made with the PS5 in mind. So if Insomniac are telling the truth and this truly is a standalone game, similar to something like Uncharted Lost Legacy, we're looking at around 10 hours to 12 hours of gameplay. The game could be longer, however, Lost Legacies is around, I think, 10 hours in total, which is very good. You know, that's longer than your average DLC, but shorter than, you know, a full-length game. As this is a next-gen game, it's going to be rough to guess pricing. However, as it's not a full-length AAA title, but more of like an expansion onto the main game, but they're saying it's a standalone game, so again, like the Lost Legacies, or I guess Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, I'm hoping the game will be at least under 30 quid, or I guess that's around, what, 30 to 40 US dollars, because I think it'd be a bit ridiculous asking for, you know, full price of a game if it's only an extra 10 hours of gameplay. If it's like the entire, if they're selling Spider-Man PS4 along with Spider-Man Miles Morales, so you're getting both games, then I can warrant it being full price, because you're getting the same game. You know, you're getting both games plus, you know, an enhanced version of the original. So I think that would be fair there. But if they're expecting us to pay for just the Miles Morales game and you don't get the original game as well, hopefully it'll be a bit cheaper. But again, next gen consoles, so got no idea what the pricing will be. But I'm excited for this. I'm not as excited as I was because I thought this was a direct sequel, but at the same time, this is still very cool. And supposedly this means there's a lot of opportunity for Insomniac to expand on the universe of Spider-Man, looking at, you know, other characters such as Silk or the Black Cat. There are obviously other variations of Spider-Man himself. It'll be very interesting to see what they do. Again, they could do things similar to Into the Spider-Verse, so they could have Spider-Gwen, Spider-Ham, I guess, but that'd be a bit weird to see a video game version of that. But Insomniac, you know, they make Ratchet and Clank and that works, so Spider-Ham could work too. Overall though, I'm still kind of excited, not as excited. There has been some talks apparently that Spider-Man 2 is being made, and that is, like, you know, around 2022 to 2023, I reckon, to expect that. Now, when it comes to the villain that Miles may be facing, there is quite a few options, of course. However, it's kind of a clear pick for the, you know, origin as such as what these kind of games I think are going for with the Miles storyline. You know, we've got a slightly different origin, but again, it's still very similar. And the villain that we're most likely going to see, especially looking at the trailers and past media, is the Prowler. Now, if you don't know who the Prowler is, he's actually Miles' uncle, and yes, we see him in the Into the Spider-Verse film. I know I've mentioned that quite a lot, but again, this game seems to be taking a lot of inspirations from, you know, tonally, the art style, the music, and I think the villain. When looking at the trailer for this game and kind of taking a look at the enemies, as you can see, there's a lot of like electricity and kind of pulse gravity weapons being used here against Miles, and we actually see this in the Into the Spider-Verse film. It's kind of what the Prowler used. It's the same kind of technology that the Prowler is using, and as this is Miles' normal origin, you know, it's kind of where it always starts, I think it kind of makes sense for them to use the Prowler. I think it'd be a very interesting villain, you know, to be part of it. Does this mean he's the main villain for Miles Morales? We're not sure, and I think if the Prowler is the main villain, I don't think it's going to be Miles' uncle. I reckon it's going to be done differently. They're going to remix it, because that is what Insomniac are doing. For example, spoilers for the original Spider-Man game, Venom is going to be Harry Osborn. We see this at the end of the original Spider-Man game. It's an after credit scene, and we see Harry in this tube with the symbiote on him, which is quite interesting. They're doing a new take on Venom, a brand new take, and they seem to be doing this quite a lot, remixing things, changing things, and I quite like this. It's fresh, you know, it's something different. And I think if we do get the Prowler, it's going to be a different kind of the Prowler, something we've not seen before. They could go for the traditional Prowler and have Miles' uncle, which I'd be totally fine with, because it's a very interesting story and it's a very interesting take. And the way Into the Spider-Verse did it was very touching, very moving. And if they can, capture that lightning in the bottle kind of thing again, it'd be really interesting to see, and I'm excited. But that is pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to give a follow-up quick update to my previous video, because we had some more news. I wanted to clarify that this is not a sequel game, but it's kind of its own standalone kind of Lost Legacy continuation of this game, and throw out some speculation of who the villain could be, because I love Spider-Man, and watching this trailer and looking at previous medias, we can see that it kind of paint a picture that it looks like the Prowler is going to be our main antagonist of this new adventure. So that is everything I have for you guys today. Please let me know what you think down in the comments. What other villains do you think we could see, pop up, show up? Who could the main antagonist be if you don't think it is the Prowler? Could the Kingpin come back, or any previous villains from the original Spider-Man game? That could be quite interesting to see. Again, we've got this electricity kind of vibe going, so we could have Shocker, come back and maybe play a bigger role. And then also, what other Spideyverse characters would you like to see get their own spin-off game? I think Spider-Gwen could be really cool. I think she deserves her own full game, but if they're going to be doing these kind of mini games alongside the main Spider-Man game, and rumours are they could end up doing a big kind of MCU Spider-Verse mashup with one big game where you play as all these different Spider-Man heroes, or you play as one hero but have all these different Spider-Men and different, Spider-Verse characters all working together to stop some big threat or something. But until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe. We are doing amazing. 150 subs. I am blown away. Support has been incredible. I love you all, and remember, stay blind, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.